Hey, what's up? I'm just gonna record a random fucking video, talk about content strategy, and I might do a reading for you, taking out my cards so I can give you some mystical insight as well as some business strategy. There's a lot of people who want to create things online. There's a lot of people who want to be able to expand their capacity to be visible online and to make content that is valuable to people. They want to grow communities. They want to make money online, of course, and they want to have an impact on the world. The reason why it feels unsafe for these people to do so, the reason why you feel unsafe to expand online is because your identity isn't stable enough to handle being seen and to handle the pain that comes with the growth of being seen online. So I wanted to offer some clarity, offer some insight on what it really means to grow online, what it means for your nervous system, what it means for your identity. I want to talk about what identity even is so you can have perspective to create from. One of the main reasons people struggle to find their creative flow and enter flow state with whatever it is that they're trying to create is because they don't have a baseline to return to in order to create. There's a version of yourself that you become when you are truly, truly creative, but you don't know how to find that because it's scattered. It's something that you can't reliably turn to. Sometimes this is because your creativity is blocked by certain belief systems that you have or certain traumas that come up. And it really takes a very deep subconscious root. But I want to offer some perspective once again. So I wrote a couple things down and we're going to go through it one by one. And then maybe by the end of this video, again, I'm going to give you some mystical insight. Okay? All right. So let's talk about identity. What the fuck is identity? I often ask my students this question when we have shadow work sessions, and I'm like, all right, who are you? Beyond your belief system, beyond the descriptions, the usual descriptions of yourself, beyond your age, beyond your environment that you came from, beyond these things, who are you? Oftentimes they don't know how to answer that. How do you describe yourself without describing yourself? When you strip away labels and titles, you just are. There's nothing beyond that because that's all there really is. We only use labels so that we can say, I am this because I am not that. We want to create separation. Identity is a system. It is not a personality. It is a system of stories that you tell yourself. And more specifically, it is a system built by the stories you believe about yourself. The good thing about this system is that you can reprogram it. It's like software. A lot of these stories that you believe about yourself have been stories you've been telling yourself since you were a child. There are things that you did in order to survive your childhood and to be a acceptable human being who is existing correctly in this world. And that probably gets in the way of your creativity as well. The final frontier of your identity is your behavior. It is your habits. I'm gonna say the corny shit that everybody always says. It's your habits, it's your routine, it's the way that you actually behave in your day-to-day life. That is one of the biggest and most important indicators and reinforcers of your identity. Now, the way that this ties to content, if your content is inconsistent, it's because your identity is inconsistent. Again, you don't have a baseline to return to. It's not laziness, it's not lack of inspiration, it's not any of that. You just don't know who you are, so you don't know how to act. So what I want you to do while I pull these cards, I'm gonna start looking for some deeper insight for you. I want you to get a piece of paper and a pen. And I want you to write down these questions. Question one, who do I currently act like online? Question two, who do I want to actually be known as? Question three, where does this desire actually come from? I want to stick on that question for a second because so many times I speak with people whose desire is to grow online and I'm like, okay, but why do you actually want to grow online? Why do you want to be seen a certain way? And usually it's because they don't want to be seen in another way. They're running from a certain version of themselves that they disapprove of because other people have disapproved of it. So in reality, this identity that you are trying to create is just a reaction to things that you are ashamed of. If you create like this and you continue to build identities off of this, you will never be whole. Okay? So that third question is so fucking important. If you want to be known a certain way, where does that desire come from? And we'll come back to that again, later on, maybe in the future, maybe in another video. Question four, what behaviors will support the identity that I want to portray online? Question five, the last question, what behaviors that I currently act out do not support this identity? After you have answered all of these questions, I want you to create a batch of content by using these answers. I want you to use the takeaways from these answers to implement them in your next batch of content. If you're a coach, if you're a content creator, if you're a leader, if you're a person who wants to grow a community, whatever it is you're trying to do in the online space, I want you to take the answers to these questions and use them to create from a place of truth. One of the students I've been working with for some time, literally like 3 days ago, he posted something after one of our shadow work sessions, if you will, and it took off. It already is like probably at 30 to 40,000 views. He's got like almost 100 comments. People are really, really resonating with it. But before this, literally like the day before he posted that, we had a conversation and he was telling me about how he fucking hates posting content because he feels like a fraud. He feels fake because he's always, doing these methods and everyone else's strategies, and he's trying to get the hooks right, and he's copying everyone's templates. The problem with doing that, it's not authentic. It just because it works for somebody else doesn't mean it's going to work for you, because you are fucking you. You're you. You need to find what works for you. And in order to find what works for you, you need to figure out who you are. So I had this conversation with him and I'm like, what do you want to actually do? What do you want to be for people? What kind of value do you want to bring to the world? He told me he wants to empower people. He wants to be somebody who can actually lead people and get them out of their heads. He wants to be a leader for young men. I'm like, okay, that's amazing. That's beautiful. But you think that in order to be a leader for people, that you need to be without blemishes. You need to be someone who only is a leader. But the most powerful leaders are deeply wounded people who have recovered from those wounds. You don't want people to see the ugly shit. And that's why they can't trust you, because they know that you are subconsciously hiding something. This is really important. So what I told him to do, I was like, just fucking try to connect to them about your pain. Be real. You are unable to grow because you are unable to be vulnerable enough to be seen past your titles and your labels and your belief systems. But that's okay. And you feel resistance to posting anything online, that resistance is feedback from your nervous system. It's not instruction. It's not something that has to be followed. You simply feel unsafe. The antidote to this is creating a barrier in between yourself and your resistance. You need to stop reacting to your resistance and start observing it. Get to know it. Where does that resistance come from? Where does this fear come from? And then again, the next time you feel resistance, post about it. Post about it. Talk about that resistance. You don't have to post the thing you originally felt resistance towards posting, but at least talk about the resistance itself, because that's also real. People want realness. They want connection, and you are starving them of that. Okay, so I pulled 5 cards. This is kind of an interesting read. First card I pulled is Harvest. I feel called to say that a lot of the people watching this video are watching it partly because they want to grow, but also because they want to heal. If you're watching this, the reason you feel afraid of being seen is because you've been punished for your visibility in the past. You're punished for what your truth looks like and what your truth actually means, because your truth and the things that you understand will disrupt other people's truth. But because you have hidden this truth for so long, you have built up a deep, deep reservoir of anger, of shame, and just emotions that have not been fully wielded by you. Whenever I pull this card for people, it's usually because they have a deep, untapped reservoir of emotion that they can use to free themselves. Harvest doesn't always mean abundance. Abundance doesn't always mean like monetary abundance. It doesn't always mean fucking opportunity abundance. Like people, you're thinking too materially. You need to ask yourself, what elements go into creating opportunity? What elements, what material, what raw material creates monetary abundance? In your case, as a creative, as a content creator, as a healer, as a coach, as a community leader, your rawest currency, your most powerful and potent tool is your emotion, because that's what you use to heal people, right? You've done this. you don't know how to translate that onto the global stage. You have a harvest of so many things, so many untapped emotions that you have not bothered to talk about online because you're too scared that it's going to invalidate you, that it's going to make you less worthy of being seen and of being heard. But if you start to talk about these things, you will connect to all the other people who are also afraid to talk about these things, and then they will truly see you as a leader. How do I know this? I did it myself, and I'm currently doing it. And I feel much more powerful because of it, much more capable of being a leader because of it, much more capable of seeing into other people's shadows because I allowed my shadows to step out into the light. Next card, celestial alignment. I think this one's pretty straightforward. If you tap into the harvest and you use them correctly, all the seeds you've been fucking sowing for so long without you even realizing it, once you reap what you have sown and you use it to heal others, after you heal yourself, there will be celestial alignment. Next card, you need to understand that there's no linear process to this. First question you have with when am I going to be able to reap what I've sown and when am I going to have celestial alignment? You want to know when, but these things are cyclical. These things don't happen on a time frame. They happen when a certain amount of things have been completed in the right way. The third card is seasons. Everything happens in a season. And I love pulling this card. I love talking to people about seasons. Because think about it. How many things have to happen in order for a season to change? Going from winter to spring, from spring to summer, and from summer to fall, and from fall to winter. How many things have to change in the earth and in space as we travel around the sun, orbiting at thousands and thousands of miles per hour every year? So many things have to happen in order for the trees to bloom and then wither away, and then the trees that withered away, the leaves fall to the ground and become fertilizer, and then spring comes around and all that fertilizer is you see, there's a cycle. Things have to happen. But in this case, you are forgetting that you are the cause of all the things that have to happen, and you have to be the change. You have to be the catalyst for change. But you're too afraid to. You're too stagnant because you don't realize how deep your power actually goes. You want to know what you will have to use in order to access this deep reservoir of emotions and achieve celestial alignment and finally begin to see the change? You will use your creativity. The fourth card. Creativity. Isn't that funny? Isn't that funny? Your creativity is what will free you. The creativity that you think is locked away in a box, you will access your creativity, you will access your power as soon as you allow yourself to be seen afraid, to be seen vulnerable. Your most creative, most powerful moments will come right after that. Last card is fearless love. Fearless love. Fearless love. To have love without fear. To love what you do without fearing what would happen if you are seen loving what you do. I don't think I need to continue. You get the fucking point. You know what you have to do. Do it. And if you need help, I would be happy to help. I work with people privately. I give them fucking tarot readings. I give them business strategy because I'm a master salesperson, and you can see I'm becoming a master marketer. I'm getting much better at what I do, and I've been leading people for years. I've made quite a bit of money. I've lost quite a bit of money. I'm not saying that I've lost and made a lot of money to show you that I'm capable of making money. I'm showing you that I'm capable of stabilizing myself through the rises and the falls. What you need is an anchor. I would love to be that for you so that you can grow and become who you want to become, to do what you want to do, to have what you want to have. So if you're interested, use the link in my bio to book in a call with my team or DM me on Instagram, comment something in the comments, whatever you got to do. Let's get to work. If not, you better get to work without me. You better get to work regardless, baby. Okay? Best of luck. I love you.